On May 25th of this year, George Floyd was murdered by police officers. These non-black officers ended this black man's life because of their racism, and as of writing this, only one of 4 has been arrested. Rightfully so, the inaction of Minneapolis's Justice Department in prosecuting these racist murderers has garnered protest and condemnation. If you're like me, white or non-black, and you feel like you need to help but don't know how you can, here are a couple of suggestions. 1. Educate yourself. There is no reason to remain ignorant in the information age. The details of this murder are publicly available, and the first step in helping is understanding. By knowing the facts, you are better able to directly combat lies when you confront them. 2. Boost voices. If you are not black, your opinions on anti-blackness should not be the ones that you come up with, neither should your voice be the loudest. On social media and in real life, when anti-black racism is in the news, you should share and promote the voices of black activists who know better than you, rather than just put your view first. If you don't know where to start, organizations like the NAACP, the Equal Justice Initiative, and Black Lives Matter provide great resources and associate with many more activists and activist groups through social media. Links below. 3. Carefully share. Images of dead black people should not be used as shock value or attention grabbing. This doesn't mean that there is never a time to show these images or filmings of these murders, but it should be done with care. When possible, images should be marked as disturbing, and if on a platform that doesn't have that capability, a definite warning should be given. Many people can develop post-traumatic stress when encounters with racism and death occur, and for their sake, take the time to tag your posts with content or trigger warnings. Also, sometimes the victim's family will request that certain images be spread and certain others minimized. Listen to their wishes. 4. Join movements. There's no reason not to put your name into petitions for arrests or call your representatives. Whether or not these petitions work is immaterial, as just the silent show of solidarity can be supportive. Donation is also beneficial. George Floyd's funeral has already been paid for on GoFundMe, and that is a good example of a way to take pressure off of the victim's family without directing attention towards yourself. Donating to black social justice organizations is another great way to help. Of course, voting for candidates that have proven their dedication to racial equality, not just said that they care, is another good thing to do. 5. Conceal identities. There is historical precedent of black activists being identified only to later be found dead under questionable circumstances. For individuals that are not publicly chronicling their own identity, do not share pictures of them without either their consent or complete censorship. Simple blurring is sufficient and enough to keep a level of anonymity should someone want it. 6. Stay supportive. Trying to be helpful and being helpful are 2 different things. Saying you're sorry, that you're white, or that you wish there was no racism doesn't accomplish anything. This isn't about you. Condemn racism, don't make it about your guilt. Other things that don't help, offering advice on how to interact with police. This advice may work for white people, but police have murdered black people sitting in their own homes with no provocation. There is no advice to give because black people do not need to change for existing. It's the world's justice systems and anti-blackness that need to change how they use and abuse their power. And yes, I said world's justice systems. You live in a country where cops don't have as many guns as ours do? Great. These killings still happen around the globe. 7. Confront racists. This may not be as glorious as you want, but again, this isn't about you. When you come across racism, fight it. Don't complain to your black friends that your aunt said something racist at Thanksgiving. Tell your aunt why what she said is racist, and that she should stop. Don't tag black people online when you find a racist and expect them to fight them for you. Do the work. And finally, when you do something racist yourself, apologize, educate yourself using one of the internet's many free search engines, and learn to do better. 8. Teach anti-racism. Lastly, do you have kids, younger relatives, students, or an audience of young people? Teach them about racism and how to fight it. There's an idea that if you don't teach your kid about race, they'll magically never be racist. That's not how racism works. There are institutions set up to indoctrinate children towards racism, whether you want them to or not. They learn it from the media, they learn it from their textbooks, they learn it from their friends. You need to actively go against that. And these times, it can be hard to feel like you're on the sidelines. But being non-black in these times is nothing compared to the institutionalized trauma that black people face every day. Being uncomfortable is minor, and our positions of privilege should be used to help those without them. To summarize, don't make this about you. Educate your fellow non-Black peers, and support the Black activists fighting for their lives.